My husband keeps interfering in issues that aren't his, so I told him off.
Get out of here! Get out of here. Can't you see these are all my issues? Get out of here! Why are you bothering me with my issues? These are mine.
I, 27 female, and my husband, 27 male, just had an argument, if you could call it that. So my brother just got a job, and it's great, except he just got thrown into single fatherhood immediately after. He has a daughter, my niece, who is about 6 months old and has no one to babysit her while he works, as the mother suddenly isn't in the picture. He called me asking if I could watch the baby during the week while he works, only for a few weeks, since he knows I'm a stay-at-home mom myself. By the way, this comes from user Star Hates You. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I would have said yes, but I can't. I am pregnant and have 2 young kids of my own, one of which does school from home, and I have to do it with her, which we are still getting the hang of because we just moved. By the time I'd prepare for that, he wouldn't need the help anymore. He understood and asked if I knew anyone personally who could help because he was out of people to ask and wanted to try to avoid daycares as he just didn't trust it. He said he would pay and cover everything, but he just urgently needed someone, and I said I'd ask around. I don't really have friends, and I don't know many people in general, as I'm very introverted, but my sister-in-law, 25, lives with us and was just telling me how she needed a job and needed money, so I proposed the idea to her. She immediately agreed, and so I put her and my brother in a group chat to talk, as well as brought my brother over to the house to have a face-to-face chat about it. Now, they're not strangers, of course. They've met before, so it wasn't awkward. They talked about the baby, what was needed, etc. My brother didn't have a long-term plan mapped out right then, since everything was so abrupt. But my sister-in-law was understanding and said she'd, quote, be okay with whatever, and that was that. I'm not sure of other details, as they text on their own, and it isn't really my deal. It was up to them. Ultimately, it came down to my brother Ubering my sister-in-law to his house early in the morning and then dropping her off at home and seeing how things go, which she agreed to. Everything seemed fine until the day of. My husband came into our room and blindsided me with all these complaints on her behalf. He said my sister-in-law had not eaten since the morning, that she wasn't comfortable and she was tired, and that she didn't even need to be there because other people were home and could have watched the baby, and that they only gave her $100, blah, 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 etc., etc.
Is he coming in and being like, oh my God, I just got like all of these things? Or is he like, OP, sister-in-law doesn't even need to be, she's uncomfortable?
That one.
Because that's crazy.
That one, 100%.
If I were OP, I'd be like, oh, okay, let's feed her. Jeez, are you hangry too?
Yeah.
Do you need a snack too?
I'd be asking where he, first of all, who he thought he was.
Who do you think you are?
Anyway, I was confused because I spoke to sister-in-law while she was there to check in on her, and she said everything was fine. So I told him. She didn't say any of those things to me, and I asked her, and she said she wasn't complaining to him. So I said to him bluntly, so she's not complaining. You are complaining for her. And he said, yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
I told him I was confused because he was throwing it all at me as if it's my responsibility, and that sister-in-law and my brother are 2 adults who made their own deal. That was up to her, and she agreed to it. Nobody was forcing her to do this. If she was uncomfortable or anything, all she had to do was say it. He continued to repeat the complaints and said, do I have to get involved? I told him the deal doesn't involve him, or me, for that matter. And I don't understand why he's the only one upset here when it has nothing to do with him.
Also, do I have to get involved? So condescending. Do I have to get involved?
Do I have to get involved?
Does the man
have to get involved here?
Do I have to get involved?
I'm sorry.
Shut up.
It looks like the man might have to be involved now. Scoot over.
Your face is about to get involved with my fist.
Sir, you single-handedly walked in and made everything worse.
I wouldn't do that, though.
So he told me he can't even have a conversation with me and left the room. I'm genuinely confused. Am I missing something here? My sister-in-law is also confused as to why he even got worked up to begin with. Am I the a-hole? Comment number 1, not the a-hole. Did he forget that his sister is a grown woman who can speak up for herself if she was uncomfortable? And even then, she would address her concerns with your brother, not you, since neither of you were involved in the deal they discussed. Maybe he's misplacing his anger. Ask him about it, especially since even his sister seems just as confused. OP says, that's what I said. They're adults. It's my brother, but not my deal. My only involvement was getting them to talk about my brother's offer. I'm not sure where the anger is from or why he even was upset about it. Commenter 2 says, is your husband on good terms with your brother? OP says, yeah, as far as I know. My brother is the one who even helped us move to our new house. They have zero problems with each other. This is weird as F to me. Why is he so concerned about his sister? She needed a job. You got her a job. If she worked for a regular employer, would he call her boss and complain for her? What's he expect his pregnant wife to do? I don't know, man. This is weird. And do I need to get involved? No. You need to cut the cord, weirdo.
Yeah.
OP says, yeah, I mean, he threw it at me like trying to make it seem like I don't care about my sister-in-law or like something was my fault that I needed to correct. But he was the only one upset. My sister-in-law says she never complained. So I just don't get why I'm the bad guy in this argument, quote unquote. Commenter 4, why does sister-in-law live with you? I don't think you're the a-hole here, but it is very peculiar, the stance he's taking. Very weird. OP says she was in a harmful space before and had nowhere to go, so we, of course, took her in. She and I are super close, so it was really no issue with me. I just don't know why he randomly started this mess when it didn't even involve him. There's an update from 2 days after the original post. Do we have any theories?
I don't know. Like, that's what I'm trying to think. I'm like, maybe someone else is attacking. Like, what about the brother-in-law? His brother is saying something about it, and he's just passing down the stress. I don't know. I feel like this is he's redirecting the stress.
This
like
definitely
anger.
does feel like a chain of command type issue here, where it's like
I
someone,
don't know. Don't ask me about it.
It's going down the line until it's finding its home, I guess, in with his pregnant wife.
Yeah.
Wow. Just adding the kicker that it's like the pregnancy. I don't know if this guy's too brave or too stupid or both to talk to your pregnant wife like that. So since I spoke with sister-in-law and husband separately and got nowhere, I finally got the chance to sit them down together. I was calm and respectful the entire time and flat out said, okay. So in regards to the babysitting gig, what's going on? What issues are there and where are they coming from? Husband made a scoffing sound and looked annoyed, but didn't speak up. I turned to my sister-in-law and asked her bluntly, do you have any complaints, concerns, or problems with the arrangement you and my brother made for the babysitting? She said, absolutely not. I asked her, are you sure? Did you say anything to husband that says otherwise? It's completely fine if you did, but you have to speak up for yourself and talk about it, even to me, if not my brother. She said, I honestly have no issues and I didn't complain to anybody, I swear. Then we looked at husband. She told him that she was fine with the arrangements and had no complaints. Then she asked him why he made a scene for no reason. He got defensive and said, nobody said you were complaining. It just doesn't make sense to me. There's no point in you doing it and it's not convenient. Are you even getting paid good? I sat there trying to understand why he was getting so defensive, and sister-in-law shot back at him, telling him it wasn't his business and it didn't have to make sense to him, echoing the exact thing I'd said in the first place, that it had nothing to do with him and that she didn't appreciate him doing this without a good reason. He said he does have a reason. And when we asked what the reason was, he said, because it doesn't make sense to me. I calmly asked him which part didn't make sense to him and why was he so bothered by it when it does not affect his or our daily life in any way, that it didn't have to make sense to him because it isn't his arrangement. And he got angry. He stood up from his seat, rambling something about how we were ganging up on him and that we weren't going to make him the bad guy and that nobody listened.
Everyone's like, so let's talk about your feelings. No one listens to me. No one ever wants to talk about my feelings. Let's talk about that right now. No, I can't.
He said, do I need to be involved? Gets directly involved. Well, wait, no, that's not what I meant. Me and sister-in-law just looked at him while he rambled, and she was just as lost as me. I, still very calmly, asked him, what do you want out of this? And why did he keep trying to involve himself when sister-in-law clearly said just now that she is happy with the agreement? He said, nobody effing uses their brain around here but me, I guess, and walked out. Mr. Nobody effing uses their brain around here but me, I guess. And then he walked out. I don't know about y'all, but I'm no butt kisser, and I definitely wasn't about to chase after him or baby him. He was being completely ridiculous, in my opinion. So we let him go, and that was it. About an hour later, he came back and started saying things under his breath like, my own wife just let me walk out. And She doesn't even care about me.
Filthy hobbitses. They hate me. They hate Gollum. They don't even care about Gollum. Gollum, no, Master loves Gollum, no. Gollum.
That's what happened.
And then that's when I realized I was married to a 780-year-old cave-dwelling troll.
That's what I realized.
Not even a troll, just like a creature.
You really liked my ring.
Yeah. That's when I realized he was really obsessed with this ring that I found. So she doesn't even care about me. And I guess it's just F me, I guess. I just don't matter. While sighing and dragging it out, I ignored all of that because grow up, dude. And he came into the room and said, so you have nothing to say to me? So I said, nope. We tried to address things and you decided to storm off. So that's that. I think you're being dramatic and that's a you problem. He then called me inconsiderate and selfish and he left. Welp, I don't know what I'm supposed to do there or what he's expecting, but there's the update, guys. And there's an edit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now there's just another post. Okay, here's some relevant, more comments. So comment 1 says, he thinks your brother is taking advantage of his sister's kindness. He may not trust or like your brother. He may worry they'll develop a romantic relationship. Either way, he needs to grow the F up and use his grown-up words. I have zero tolerance for grown men that throw temper tantrums. So OP says, I can't gauge it at all. And at this point, I don't even care because it's just flat out ridiculous. We are all adults. My brother pays sister-in-law handsomely, even paying for her rides to and from home, which is portal to portal, and that is hard to find. Aside from texting about the baby or the arrangement, they don't really talk. And sister-in-law is an open sapphic. I tried to ask him nicely instead of being rude and invalidating whatever his problem was, but he couldn't even handle that. Now I'm so over it that I don't even care what his problem is anymore. Comment number 2. Question OP, does your husband contribute with housework and childcare, etc.? Could it be that he is pissed off that his sister who lives with you is now no longer available to help him with his contribution to the household cleaning and childcare?
Oh, I'm finally understanding the family layout here because I think I had it wrong the whole time. It's OP's husband's sister and OP's brother
Had an agreement
where sister babysits for the brother. I finally understand the plot of the story.
But are they babysitting at
The brother's house.
continuing on?
And the sister lives with OP and her husband.
It's all coming.
It's all coming together.
That's the only thing I can think of as to why he would be pissed off, that he guilted his sister into helping out with the house and kids as part of her rent and board, and now that she has a paying job, his free maid is gone. OP says, not really. I do the cooking, cleaning, and childcare on my own. Commenter 3 says, he says nobody uses their brain except him, yet he's the only one who can't verbalize whatever's going on in his head. Your husband needs a therapist so he can learn some different ways to progress towards his goals instead of tantrums and woe is me guilt trips. And there's another update here. Update number 2. Hello, once again. I know a lot of you wanted to know what happened. With all the support from you guys, I feel I do owe you that. Things have happened and I needed time to be alone and gather myself and process. My husband kept on with the attitude, the side comments under his breath, and just being generally weird. I gave no reaction and ignored this because I got better things to give my energy to. Go off, queen. Like my pregnancy and my 2 children. Anyway. I was cleaning, and my husband decided to confront me and ask me, why am I acting this way?
That's so funny. I would laugh. Ah ha ha ha. Ah ha ha ha.
Who are you and what have you done with my husband? Who are you? I asked him what he meant, and he said that I'm being some kind of way towards him. And I simply told him I absolutely will not coddle him for an attitude that doesn't make sense for him to have. He got upset, rambling about how, as his wife, it should matter to me that he's upset. And I said, I have done nothing to him, and I gave him chances to explain what's wrong, and he didn't. So no, it's not my responsibility to fix whatever is wrong with him. He said this was all my fault. And I asked him, what is my fault? I've done nothing but take care of our kids and our home as well as him. I told him that he made no sense, that nobody did anything to him, not me, not my brother, not sister-in-law, no one. That I wasn't going to deal with his attitude at all and that he could find somewhere else to stay if he wasn't going to cut it out. He sat down and said, that's what I'm talking about. Saying that my lack of giving a crap and my no-nonsense attitude is upsetting to him.
This guy's projecting.
Brother.
This guy's projecting something.
Brother, here's the goalpost. Whoa, you just moved it way somewhere else. What are you talking about? no nonsense. You are full of nonsense.
Julia
yeah.
Leons. This guy's trying to get his wife to fight. He just wants to
guess.
start a fight for no reason. He's like, you don't even care.
He's doing pick me.
Yeah. He's like, whatever.
It's like, whatever. I guess you don't care that your husband has the personality profile of a 15-year-old girl who just got, like, dumped by
She
her crush.
doesn't even love me.
Here we go. I asked him why I would be wanting to put up with BS, especially while pregnant, and why would that bother him. He started all this drama over something that had nothing to do with him, and then it came. He took a deep breath and broke down with confession after confession. He admitted that he had an affair.
Oh.
He admitted that he had installed a camera in our home without telling me in hopes I'd do something so he could use it as defense.
All of the people in the chat who were saying affair were freaking right.
Wow.
This man was projecting.
That's so wild.
Ooh,
wow.
This man was projecting louder than a theater kid in a musical.
And they
Thanks.
do project.
They project, man.
And that he'd figured out the woman he cheated with knew my brother, which is why he freaked about sister-in-law working for him.
Ooh.
A delicate little web of lies was woven, wasn't it? He admitted he started drama to create an argument on purpose, to give him a reason to feel justified, and my calm reactions for everything made it impossible for him. It bothered him that I never did anything wrong because he had done something wrong and couldn't shift any blame. I could barely react. I kind of just looked up at him. My stomach was hurting. I just couldn't wrap my brain around any of it. He told me he was sorry, that he's a piece of crap, and he doesn't know why he did it, that he loves me, tearing himself down, and I just told him to stop talking. I calmly said to remove whatever camera he had installed and to find somewhere else to stay. Cried and begged, and I shut it down. He asked if I was going to tell sister-in-law. You're worried about me telling people or what other people are going to think of you instead of worrying about the effing damage you've just done to our family. He left, but wouldn't stop calling me, trying to talk. Suddenly, he wants to have a conversation, huh? How funny. I put my phone on silent and went to play with my kids, trying to be normal to shield them from it. I didn't want them to see me upset. And by the way, it'll never make us upset if you go listen to full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search.
Okay, story time.
And you will find
a whole lot of stories.
That's right. We do have a little bit of story left here. This is pretty rough. You've got kids involved. Clearly,
Yeah.
you're leaving him.
Yeah.
I would support that.
Absolutely. I mean, at least you have, hopefully the sister's still around.
Yeah,
Maybe she can help babysit your kids.
lean on the family that was there for you.
Yes.
Um,
Your husband is a terrible person, and it feels like his sister probably would take your side.
Yeah, which is probably why he was concerned about it.
Yeah.
I would let that cat out of the bag. You know, let the family know, hey,
Yeah,
I'm
like, this is
divorcing
what
him.
happened.
However, he's still the father of these
Sure,
kids,
yes.
and you are still their family. So I don't want to just ice you all out of the
No.
children's lives. And probably approaching it that way, I think, would be best, because then it doesn't sound like, hey, I need you to take care of my kids.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more just like
Love to have
open
you
door
involved.
policy
Sure.
to like be
I love my
part of a
children.
loving family here.
Yeah.
Your choice. Also, babysit my kids on Thursdays.
Thank you. Can you pick them up after school, please? Let's finish her off.
Let's finish it off. I put my kids to bed and cried it out. We've been together since we were like 15. I've never cheated on him ever. We're approaching 30. Like, what type of crap is that? I've never had a trust issue with him before. I'm not a phone snooper. I just don't do things like that. And I didn't have a reason for why he's never behaved like this before. Maybe he's cheated before and I just don't know about it. I don't even care to know. One time is enough for me.
Yeah.
I want a divorce. I will be fair about it. I will not turn our children against him. I won't drag it out, but I am done. Thanks for listening, guys. And it's going to be
Yeah.
brighter on the other side of that,
I
OP,
think that's,
for sure.
yeah.
We've got some comments here. Yeah, he wanted a reason to make you the villain so he could say, well, she acted like this or spoke to me like this. That's why I cheated. I'd tell everyone and tell your brother about the woman he knows who was banging your husband. I'd block his number and use sister-in-law as a go-to when he can come and collect the kids for visitation. I know it's hard, but don't take him back. This man tried to manipulate you into being the villain so it would justify him effing another woman. Commenter 2 says, you should absolutely tell your sister-in-law she's been filmed without her permission for God knows how long. while living with
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
She absolutely deserves to know this. Get your ducks in a row. Start separating finances. Get your important paperwork together. Consult a lawyer. That's what you do. But there's a lot to prepare, and you need to get started now before the baby comes. Also, make sure someone is around to help after the baby comes, because you cannot allow yourself to depend on the man that cheated on you and tried to make you the bad guy.
Absolutely.
And that is the end of that story. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
It's gonna take a lot of work to
Yeah.
come out of this in a good way. But yeah.
It's an interesting angle I haven't thought of, where it's like, not only it's like, yeah, you lose the help of like he can't be there. Just
Yeah.
completely, yeah. But hey,
you're gonna make it through.
not your fault, OP. Definitely
I
not
mean,
your
you
fault.
handle everything perfectly, honestly. But there is
That was a perfect playthrough.
one more story.